first, it's time for the 9 headlines at 9. Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar steps up efforts to forge an opposition front, meets the Congress leadership and Arvind Kejriwal in Delhi, claims the meetings are historic for potential opposition unity. Heartburn protests and dissent within the BJP after its first list for Karnataka is announced. Former Chief Minister Shettar meets JP Nadda after being dropped. Ex-Deputy Chief Minister Savadi quits the party. Sachin Pilot in Delhi a day after holding a dharna against the Ashok Gehlot government's inaction on corruption. Rajasthan CM says his government is acting on corruption, says real focus remains providing relief from inflation. Prime Minister Modi flags off the Vande Bharat Express in Rajasthan, says railways has developed after 2014. Chief Minister Gehlot hits back, says Modi is attacking past railway ministers who included BJP leaders. 4 Jawans killed in firing inside Bhatinda military station. 1 Insas rifle recovered. FIR registered against 2 unidentified men. 2 armed attackers still on the loose. Umesh Pal murder accused Atiq Ahmed reaches Prayagraj. ED seizes over 75 lakh rupees cash, 200 bank accounts, 50 shell companies that were being used by the Don-turned-Neta to launder extortion money. Airstrikes by Myanmar's military on Tuesday kills as many as 100 people, including many children who were attending a ceremony held by opponents of army rule. Elon Musk gives an April 20th deadline to remove all legacy blue badges on Twitter, says the social media platform is roughly breaking even now after months of loss. Consumer inflation moderates significantly to 5.66% in March, big fall in food prices. Vegetables are cheaper while cereals and milk products are costlier. But the big story that's been breaking this evening, Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has now emerged as someone who is leading the efforts to forge a united opposition front. Just a short while ago, Nitish Kumar has now met with Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. This follows meetings with Mallikarjun Kharge, the Congress President, and Rahul Gandhi earlier in the day. The meetings are designed to try and forge a broad opposition unity against the Modi-led BJP ahead of the 2024 election. Nitish Kumar has just met with Chief Minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal. The big question, of course, is how is this opposition unity going to be forged, given that different parties have their own political compulsions on the ground? And who will lead this front? Those are just some of the questions we'll raise in a moment. But first, take a look at our top story tonight.
Nitish Kumar is taking the lead for opposition unity. The Bihar Chief Minister, whom many believe nurses ambitions of becoming the Prime Minister, met Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge and Rahul Gandhi in Delhi on Wednesday. He was accompanied by his deputy and RJD leader, Tejashwi Yadav.
अधिक से अधिक पार्टियों को पूरे देश में एकजुट करने का प्रयास करें और उसके लिए हम लोग अपना कोशिश करेंगे। सब लोग एग्री करेंगे, वो सब लोग बैठेंगे और एक साथ हम लोग आगे का काम करेंगे, मिलकर के चलेंगे। ये बात तय हो गई है और जितने लोग एग्री करेंगे उस सब लोगों को फिर हम लोग बैठ करके आपस में आगे का निर्णय तय करेंगे।
Kharge and Rahul described the meeting as historic.
हम यहाँ पर एक ऐसी ऐतिहासिक मीटिंग की, हम सभी ने मिलकर तय किया कि सभी पार्टियों को एकजुट करना और एक होकर आगे जो चुनाव आएंगे उस चुनाव में एकजुट दिखाकर लड़ना।
जो इंस्टीट्यूशंस पर आक्रमण हो रहा है, जो देश पर आक्रमण हो रहा है, उसके खिलाफ हम सब एक साथ मिलकर खड़े होंगे।
Nitish later called on Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, who so far has been ambivalent on a joint front against Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The BJP is unfazed, calling today's Gathbandhan meeting a Thagbandhan meeting.
भ्रष्टाचार के दलदल में डूबे कुछ दल जब एक जगह इकट्ठे होते हैं तो महाठगबंधन बनता है.
There are many roadblocks to forming a truly united anti-Modi opposition front. There are many parties within the opposition who are not just anti-BJP but also anti-Congress. These include the TMC, Aam Aadmi Party and BRS.
If they want to defeat Mamata Banerjee with the help of BJP, then how they say they are anti-BJP? তৃণমূল কংগ্রেস আর মানুষের যোগ হবে আমরা ওদের কারোর সাথে যাব না আমরা একা লড়বো মানুষের সমর্থন নিয়ে.
And then finally, there are those parties who may be part of the opposition but are friendlier with the ruling BJP, like Jagan Reddy's YSRCP and Naveen Patnaik's BJD. Will the opposition be able to iron out their differences in time for the big battle of 2024? Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's raise the big questions. Can the opposition really forge a credible front? Is the leadership the big question mark over the opposition? Will regional parties work with the Congress? Is Nitish Kumar now fancying himself as a potential PM face? Is anti-Modiism the only glue that binds the opposition? I'm joined by Pawan Kumar Verma, former MP, Rajya Sabha. He was with the JDU and Nitish at the time. Abhishek Jha is JDU spokesperson. Clyde Crasto is NCP spokesperson. Riju Datta is TMC spokesperson. And Syed Nasir Hussain is senior Congress MP. Appreciate all of you joining us. And I'm going to come to each of you for quick remarks at the very outset on this seemingly incipient opposition coalition being formed. Syed Nasir Hussain, you were there when Nitish Kumar met Mallikarjun Kharge. You worked very closely with Mr. Kharge. Is the Congress serious about getting together all the regional parties? And who will give space to whom? Because in many of the cases, the Congress is in opposition to some of these regional parties like KCR's BRS. So are you really going to take the lead in forging this opposition front at all?
Rajdeep, you very well know that past few parliament session has seen larger unity among opposition parties on different issues. And especially in these issues, earlier there used to be 14, 15, 16 parties attending opposition parties meet under the leadership of Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge ji. But then this session saw parties numbering up to 19, 20 attending the meetings. There were joint issues, there were common issues raised, there were joint protests, there were joint meetings, and the way the issues were taken up, it was all clear on all your television channels and everything is there in public domain. Now the whole idea is, how do we take all these issues to the people? How do we have protested enough in the parliament? We have spoken about spoken about these issues enough in the parliament, raised it very well and articulated it very well in the parliament. But then how do we take this to the public? That is the challenge. And I think when the floor leaders of opposition parties met in different meetings during the session, they also said that now once the parliament session is over, this has to be taken to the level of the party leaders. Now floor leaders unity was their party leaders. I think this was a preliminary meeting with our allies in Bihar. JDU and RJD were present. Congress, JDU, RJD met today, and we discussed basic issues. And then what will be the vision, and how do we arrive at common minimum program,
very quickly,
common minimum action?
Are you going to go? Today you were discussing this with people with whom you are already in alliance with in Bihar. But are you going to take this across the country to parties you're not in alliance with, but who may be part of a broad opposition front? I mentioned KCR's party in Telangana. Will it include a Mamata Banerjee, for example, in Bengal? She says that you have been trying to defeat her there. So I want to get it very clear. Is the Congress now going to finally take the lead in reaching out to all these parties?
Rajdeep, there's little disturbance while you are talking. Please ask someone to fix it up. I understood what you wanted to know. See, UPA is already intact and there are more parties in UPA kitty. There are parties who left the NDA, number one. Number two, there are parties, those are not in UPA and those are anti-BJP, anti-union government that is there. And there are parties which are not either with UPA or with the NDA. So now the idea is to reach out to more number of parties who can come with the idea of saving constitution, saving the country, fighting the attacks against democracy, and so on and so forth, which we have raised in the public domain. So, but who will speak to whom? Who can be invited? Who cannot be invited? Who can come with us? Who cannot can come with us? These are the things which, in a preliminary meeting, we have discussed, and I think now. We have already spoken to many of the parties who are there in UPA and those are not there in UPA also. And once this meeting starts, there will be a meeting where these nitty-gritties of what you are speaking here, who will fight whom in West Bengal, what will be the alliance, what will be the integrity of the alliance in Telangana, in Bihar, this will be discussed in the meeting of the leaders as and when we have in the days to come.
Interesting. Okay, interesting that you're saying that you're ready to discuss the nitty-gritty, state after state, who will fight whom, with your sole objective in a way it appears to be, how do you take on the BJP? But Riju Datta, let's get the TMC perspective, because you're not at the moment part of the UPA or the NDA. Are you willing, is your leadership willing to talk to the Congress, for example, to come together on a joint front, and where does that leave the left? At the moment, the Congress is in alliance with the left. Are you ready for a grand alliance tomorrow that would include the left in Bengal?
Rajdeep, let me be very clear that the upcoming 24 general elections will be fought on the issues of the people like inflation, unemployment, rather than on religion and caste. And the opposition is united on the issues of the people of India. That is very clear. Now, in Bengal, the Congress is in a very unholy nexus with the CPM, and they have under the table taken the help of the BJP to defeat Trinamool Congress. If they sort their house, I don't think Trinamool Congress has a problem in talking to them. But at this moment in time, I don't know what will happen or what Mamta Didi will take a decision on. But at this moment, we will go alone and we will take BJP head on, because they are a disgrace to this Indian constitution. They are trampling the democracy. They are abusing the federal structure on a daily basis. They have politicized the central agencies against us. And so we are going to take BJP head on, immaterial who is with us or who is not with us. But for the bigger picture, to dethrone the BJP, if Congress gets their house in order, then I think we are open for discussion.
But what you're making it very clear, with the Congress, without the Congress, as of now, you're not ruling out the possibility of being Ekla Chalo Re there in Bengal to take on the BJP. NCP, Clyde Crasto, Sharad Pawar, over the last few days, has made comments that have suggested that he wants to distance himself from the issues that the Congress is raising. For example, a JPC into Adani, the Savarkar issue. Let's get it clear. NCP needs the Congress in Maharashtra, Congress needs the NCP. So are you, and I'm putting out this meter, the index of opposition unity meter, are you hot, lukewarm or cold towards this opposition unity?
Well, we are absolutely together. Rajiv, you have to understand one thing. What Mr. Sharad Pawar tried to explain there was technicality. What he said that the JPC that we are talking about is the committee will have a majority of the people from the BJP. So there is a possibility that that the verdict or the final result will go on against the opposition. So that's the technicality which he explained. He's gone ahead to say that if my friends in the opposition that we are together and they want the JPC, I'm okay with it. He's absolutely okay with it. But he also said that the Supreme Court, the decision that the Supreme Court takes will have some kind of bearing in this whole process. So he went on with the technicalities. There's absolutely no problem. The whole Mahagathbandhan that you're talking about, the MVA government in Maharashtra that was there earlier has continued forward ahead, and we are together. So there's absolutely no problem. Mr. Sharad Pawar has always...
So you're saying that Mr. Pawar is very much part... Mr. Pawar is very much part of these efforts to forge an opposition front, but it's easier said than done, Pawan Verma.
Can I finish what
because there are
One
serious...
Rajdeep, I was trying to say something.
No, very quickly.
What I was trying to say...
Very quickly, sir.
No, when you're talking to me, let me finish, please. So what Mr. Sharad Pawar ji has always been saying, that he is always of the opinion that all like-minded parties, people who think alike, should come together and form an alliance and a strong opposition. In a democracy, the role of an opposition is to, show the mirror to the ones in the government. And right now is the right time to show the BJP the mirror, because everything that is going on in the country is not right.
Okay, like-minded parties, Pawan Verma is the word being used. Are these really like-minded parties? I mean, the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress, for example, are they like-minded on all issues? The BRS of KCR and the Congress, are they like-minded? How are you going to what is the like-mindedness apart from a visceral hatred for Narendra Modi, whom these parties want to get out at all costs? That's the one issue that seems to unite them, or dare I say, the fear of the Enforcement Directorate.
Thank you, Rajdeep. Rajdeep, ever since I resigned from the Foreign Service and joined politics, it's been almost 9 years since I've worked with the opposition. And I think it's time to do some plain speaking. I am in politics, but now not a member of any political party. First of all, there is no purpose served in arithmetical unity of leaders congregating on a stage periodically and reiterating their opposition or hostility to Mr. Narendra Modi or the BJP. It serves no purpose. What is required is organic opposition unity, which translates to the following. And it's too late, 9 years have gone by and we haven't seen progress, so I frankly am not optimistic. You need a pan-Indian vision, a narrative, or at least by now a common minimum program that binds all major opposition parties. We don't have it. You need a coordination cell which is able on a networked basis to bring opposition parties together to ensure that one joint opposition candidate, irrespective of differences in different states, is put up against their common opponent, which is the BJP. You don't have it. You need to trim egos of leaders who believe as yet that each of them has the potential and the right to be the leader. Fourthly, I think every opposition party in one sense is playing the role, not intentionally, but to be a BJP ally. My good friend Syed Nasir Hussain is here. Let me tell you, KCR is fighting the BJP in Telangana. Congress is fighting KCR. Mamata Banerjee is fighting the BJP in West Bengal. Congress is fighting Mamata Banerjee. AAP is fighting the BJP in Delhi. Congress is fighting the AAP. I can give multiple examples to go on to say that unless the opposition swells the coffee that they have to go beyond anti-Modism and come out with a narrative and vision of their own, which actually resonates with the people. These periodical meetings and occasional parleys mean nothing. And
you're virtually calling the Congress, but the question is, you seem to be calling for the Congress to cede space. The Congress tomorrow will say, why should we cede space to AAP, which is out to destroy us? Even in Karnataka, the Aam Aadmi Party is now contesting over 200 seats. Where is the trust? You see, it's not just about coordination, it's about having some minimum trust. Where is the common minimum trust between these parties?
That is the whole point. And the point really is that every political party, if it considers the fight against what Mr. Modi or the BJP stands for worth fighting, then they must understand that each of them has to take a back seat in a state where another party of the opposition is stronger. The Congress was perhaps the party which was strongest in the past. It is still the only party with a pan-Indian footprint, but it is organizationally exceptionally weak and has shrunk. But the Congress will not understand that at this stage, the tactical necessity is to make alliances stronger rather than to prove its primacy. And that often happens in other political parties too.
Rajdeep, please give me
all
a minute.
of this
Rajdeep.
especially is true. And I'll just end in 20
Yes.
seconds. Because
Please
you
give me a
are
minute,
taking
Rajdeep.
on a very formidable organization called the BJP. I'll just finish. What do they have?
Okay.
You may or may not agree with him. A strong and popular leader, a narrative, an organizational cadre, and a fairly well-developed and effective program of direct benefit transfers and welfareism which has touched the common man. As against this, you have legitimate discontents on unemployment, price inflation, curtailing of democratic rights, draconian laws. Where is your narrative?
Rajdeep,
Okay, where is your narrative? Before I come to where is your narrative, which is important, where is your lead? Just a minute,
please give
sir.
me a minute.
No, just a minute. Where is your leadership?
you've given
Abhishek
him so
Jha,
much time,
you know,
Raj,
today.
sir.
No, just a minute, sir. Abhishek Jha, you came, today Nitish Kumar comes to Delhi, meets all these leaders. There seems to be, though, no attempt beyond just projecting individuals. Nitish Kumar, in an ideal world, wants to, some believe, be projected as the leader of this opposition alliance to take on Mr. Modi. He's from the Hindi heartland and that gives him some advantage. But KCR also believes the same. Mamata Banerjee will believe the same. Who knows? You know, every leader believes that he or she should lead this alliance. Mallikarjun, Kharge, Rahul, Gandhi would want to lead it. So I want to understand, how is this alliance actually going to be forged? Having a meeting for 15, 20 minutes or 1 hour is not going to create an alliance based on trust.
Rajdeep, I do not know about the belief of other politicians or the topmost leaders of the other parties. But Nitish Kumarji has made it clear many a times when the media personals have asked him the question that whether he has some aspirations of becoming the Prime Minister candidate from the United Opposition. He has always told that he has no personal grievances regarding that. He is just concerned with the fact that the leaders of opposition or all the parties who are in opposition should be united together, should be on a single platform, should make it possible that the upcoming general elections should be fought on the issues of the common man, the issues relating with inflation, issues relating with unemployment. And when Nitish Kumarji is meeting Rahul Gandhi ji or Kharge ji, what is the reason behind the agitation of BJP leaders? Everyone is just asking questions that Nitish Kumarji is trying to meet the leaders of opposition. He is making his steps forward in order to unite all opposition parties. If BJP is very much confident about their strength, if BJP is very much confident about the face of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, then what is the reason behind their agitation? Nitish Kumarji has...
No, it's not about, it's not about, the, 1 minute, Abhishek Jha, the fact is, what I'm trying to understand and taking up from what Pawan Verma says, what is it that is bringing this opposition together? Syed Nasir Hussain, what is bringing this opposition together apart from some...
Please,
No, Mr. Castro, you must wait your turn. Syed Nasir Hussain...
You carried from there and you're...
Mr. Castro, you must wait your turn, please. Syed Nasir Hussain, what is it that is bringing this opposition together? I want to understand what is that issue which is going to bring this opposition together apart from the fear, some say, of another 5 years of Mr. Modi. What is it? What is the common minimum program? You haven't even told us what is that basic common minimum program at the moment. And there is only 10 months to go before the election of 2024, the campaign starts.
Well, Rajdeep, why are you in a hurry? Why are you in a hurry? Let BJP speak whatever they want to say. Let them say
I'm in no hurry, but there are only 10 months left for the election.
Let's just hold on. It's all right. It's all right. Hold on. See, let the BJP speak, say whatever they want to say. See, we have raised issues in the parliament. We have raised issues of inflation, of poverty, of unemployment, of security of the country, of the falling rupee, of the state of economy, of misuse of central agencies, attacks on democracy, attack on the right to speak, right to expression. Everything is being expanded there. People are being disqualified there. So there are so many issues that are there which needs to be articulated. It has been articulated in the parliament. Now the point is, we have just met today. Today was the first preliminary meeting between three parties. Nitish ji had come to Delhi along with Tejashwi ji. We have just met. The ground rules will be laid. The rules will be set. Framework will be there. And then after meeting the people, after meeting the leaders of different political parties, they will sit and they will have their alternate vision for the country, the issues that have to be raised, the issues that have to be taken.
So you're
to the
saying
public,
picture
that all will be articulated.
Okay.
You cannot. No, just 1 second. You cannot decide everything in 1 hour's meeting. The willingness
I
to
agree
come
with
together,
you that you cannot decide in every
partners, the willingness to come
Sir,
together,
but this has been going on.
reach out to different political parties.
Okay,
is what
sir,
we're
this has
deciding
been
today.
going on. Okay, this has been going on for months on end, that we will come together, we are working on this. Clyde Crasto, now you want to make a point, go ahead. What is the point you want to make?
I've been trying to make a point, but Rajdeep, you have to allow people to speak. You know, the point here is very simple. Now, you mentioned earlier, you said it's about the opposition and Mr. Modi, or it's about the fear of being the central agencies. It's not just about the opposition and Mr. Modi. Or if the opposition was so afraid of the central agencies, we would have not been speaking. We are speaking. We are showing the mirror to the BJP, because the work that they're doing is not right. The point is very simple, that when we say like-minded people have to come together, means there is a thought process in there. Like Mr. Nasir Hussain just said, that there are other issues. There are issues like unemployment, farmers' issues, inflation, price rise. These are the common thoughts that we have, and we are coming together on that platform, and that's what we need to work about.
Who will lead this? Who will lead this platform?
Well, we are coming
Mr.
together.
Crasto, who will lead this platform?
Rajdeep,
who will lead the platform?
No, Rajdeep, you're always in a hurry. You wait and listen. When everybody comes together, they are working together. It's not about, one person leading the charge in the BJP and fight my way or the highway. It doesn't work like that. We are in a democracy. Everybody's opinion counts. Every party equally talks about it, and we work unified. That's how it works. And you keep saying one meeting doesn't help. Well, meetings have been held. You are talking only about the meeting today. There have been several meetings held. Meetings will be held in the future also, and we will come together on the issues that concern people. Issues that concern people are
you're saying you've said, sir, you made your point. You're saying you'll come together on issues that concern people, but Riju Datta, the BJP says this is a Thag Bandhan. They are the ones who are saying that all of you are actually coming together out of fear that the next ED action could be against you. Now, is this an alliance, therefore, which is coming together of compulsion and not in a way of conviction? This is an alliance because all of you are desperate in some ways to hold on to your turf. You yourself on this program have said, we will fight the BJP in Bengal. The question is, are you all willing to fight together, or are you all simply unwilling to cede space to the other parties?
I have heard everybody patiently, and I've heard Mr. Verma in details, and what he said actually makes sense. But I think Trinamool Congress believes there is another option, and the third option is that the Prime Minister candidate can be chosen at a later date on a joint consensus. The Prime Minister candidate is not important right now, but we also believe that every regional party, whether it is the BRS, whether it is Mr. Stalin's party, whether it is Tejashwi, whether it is Mamata Banerjee, if we fight our battles, our individual battles, if we hold our ground and we defeat BJP, then we have enough and more numbers to defeat the BJP. We do not need a formal alliance to show Mr. Modi that we are together to take you on. I believe if we fight our own individual battles from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, then BJP will lose the 2024 general elections based on the Vidhan Sabha results. Why do we have to always think in those terms? And lastly, Rajdeep, when you have made a very strong allegation that the united front of the opposition is coming together scared of ED. Let me tell you, the ED is only working against the opposition. Change is the only constant in nature, and when the party, the union government will change, to find a BJP spokesperson, you have to send your cameraman to Bihar. So we are waiting for that time. There is no investigation on them. That is why they think they are clean. They are not.
But the fact, Pavan Verma, is that there is an elephant in the room, i.e. the Congress, i.e. Rahul Gandhi. Because the Congress today, even today, is in direct fights with the BJP in about 200 plus seats in the country. And unless the Congress revives itself, any talk of this opposition unity may not really work because you need a magnet. Do you believe at some stage that's going to be the critical question in the next 9 months, whether the Congress can get its act together? The regional parties perhaps can take on the BJP in their states, but the Congress has to get its act together for any opposition front to emerge.
Just 2 or 3 points quickly. First, to answer your first question. The BJP's primary catchment area are the 200 seats in which it is in direct confrontation with the Congress party. And the BJP's strike rate against the current Congress party is 96%. Secondly, each of the regional leaders, for whom I have great respect, may be strong in their own bastions. But when you are looking at a parliamentary election where you have on the one hand a basket of disparate political parties against one that has twice given an absolute majority and has all the ingredients of an electoral battle, a leader, narrative, organization. What choice is the voter going to make? And when some of my esteemed panelists say, what's the hurry? You have 10 months left to the election. And Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary of the Congress still has words of near abuse for Mamata Banerjee. KCR has floated unilaterally his own front. Arvind Kejriwal says he will not ally with anybody. So does Mamata Banerjee. And they are talking about a common narrative on the real grievances of the people, on unemployment, inflation and other very serious matters, while parleys of occasional meetings are going on. I mean, are we serious? I think it's time to smell the coffee for the opposition, but there is no one to make the coffee.
Okay, that's a good note on which to end. It's time to smell the coffee for the opposition, but there's no one out there who's going to make this coffee is the big question. Yes, Mr. Castro, who's going to make the coffee? Sharad Pawar? Who's going to make the coffee?
I think you make the coffee and have it and give a little to Mr. Pawan, because I'd like to say one thing very clear. What is the role of the opposition? The role of the opposition is to get together and show the mirror to the incumbent government. That's what we are doing. It's not about, what are they going to do? The effort is on. This is going to go on. It's not about making coffee. Okay? It's a serious issue. And there are serious issues in this country.
No, the question is, okay, let's leave it there. The fact is that the opposition is running out of time. The opposition is running out of time. There is 1 year to go for the general elections. And the opposition a year is a long time in politics. We'll wait and see what happens in the next few months. But time is running out. I appreciate my guests joining me, though, on our big talking point tonight. Let's turn from there to the other big talking point, the battle for Karnataka, where the BJP has clearly decided to go for a generational change of sorts this time. There are already 52 new faces in the first list, and about 62 of them are under the age of 50. A few big names, including former chief ministers and deputy chief ministers, have been dropped. Predictably, the BJP's decision has stoked revolt and dissent within a section of the BJP. Will their gambit pay off, or will the BJP pay a price for sidelining their earlier leadership? Take a look.
The BJP is effecting a generational change in Karnataka. But its decision to drop a few heavyweights has triggered a revolt within the party. Former CM Jagdish Shettar flew down to Delhi and met BJP chief JP Nadda. He is insisting on contesting elections.
I met National President JP Nadda ji and I explained everything about my constituency, and I expressed that I am going to contest being as a senior leader, and ex-chief minister, I expressed my view that I am going to contest.
99% Jagdish Shettar ji will be given ticket. He is in Delhi only. Most probably that name will be cleared in Hubli city.
Former Deputy CM Ishwarappa is hoping his son gets a ticket. His supporters in Shivamogga have raised a banner of revolt. 19 municipal corporation members, including the mayor and deputy mayor, have quit their posts. Former Karnataka Deputy CM Lakshman Savadi has quit the BJP after losing out on the Athani seat. The Lingayat leader was dropped to accommodate Mahesh Kumatali, who crossed over from Congress in 2019. Savadi, in a statement, said that he won't go begging around for a BJP ticket. The BJP is hoping Savadi will fall in line.
ಸನ್ಮಾನ್ಯ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಣ್ ಸವದಿ ಅವರು ಮತ್ತು ಬಿಜೆಪಿಯ ಬಹಳ ಹಳೆ ನೆಂಟಿದೆ, ಸಂಬಂಧ ಇದೆ, ಪ್ರೀತಿ ವಿಶ್ವಾಸ ಇದೆ ಮತ್ತು ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾವನಾತ್ಮಕವಾದಂಥ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಇದೆ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಟಿಕೆಟ್ ಸಿಗದಿರೋ ಬೇಜಾರು ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ಗಮನದಲ್ಲಿದೆ.
Meanwhile, B.Y. Vijayendra, son of former CM Yedurappa, will contest from Shikaripura seat, the same constituency where his father had won 7 times since 1983.
Every community and every religion, minorities also supported and voted for Yedurappa ji. Same trend continues even today in Shikaripura also. Party has given me opportunity to fight from Shikaripura constituency. I am blessed to fight from Shikaripur Assembly.
The BJP is giving a tough fight to the 2 CM aspirants from the Congress. It has fielded Revenue Minister R. Ashok against Congress Chief D.K. Shivakumar in Kanakapura. Both are Vokkaligas, a numerically significant community in Karnataka. Lingayat leader and State Minister V. Somanna will take on former CM Siddaramaiah in Varuna constituency. Both Ashok and Somanna are also fighting from their traditional seats, Padmanabhanagar and Chamarajnagar. With Sagar Raj, Bureau Report, India Today.
So the big question, the BJP's gamble in Karnataka, old guard versus new guard. How will the BJP be able to hold the party together? Joining me now, Sandeep Shastri, National Coordinator Lokniti, based in Bengaluru himself. Madhu N. Rao is the BJP spokesperson. Aishwarya Madhav is the Congress spokesperson. Madhu Rao, we've already seen a deputy chief minister quit your party today, a chief minister flying to Delhi saying, I will contest even if you don't give me a ticket. Is the BJP ready to do away with the old guard and really try in some way to gamble with newer faces of sorts in Karnataka?
Good evening, Rajdeep. I think I would only say so much that ours is the biggest party having some small problems. We are going to settle it down. Our National General Secretary, C.T. Ravi, is already on record to say that it will be settled in a couple of days. You know, in electoral politics, this is but for natural, there would be some initial hiccups. But I'm sure at the end of the day, perhaps a couple of days, things will be settled and we are onto it. I mean, from a perspective of you asking me as to what would be the nature or why has it happened, all I would say is perhaps, there was a consultative process which took on. There was a deliberations right at the district level, core committee, it went to state core committee, it went to a parliamentary board, of course, and the central election committee has decided. Perhaps having some intentions for a bigger new opportunities, that would be conveyed in the due course. So I'm sure in a couple of days, things would settle down.
You're saying your party has gone through a consultative process. Aishwarya Madhav, while the BJP is experiencing dissension at the moment at some level, what they have done is taken a risk. They've broken the status quo. They put up ministers, sitting ministers against your 2 big leaders, Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah. They brought in 62 people who are under the age of 50, 52 new faces. They also have about 96 who are still MLAs. But the fact is, they are willing to experiment with some kind of a generational change. Do you agree that the BJP is far more risk-taking than the Congress is? You're relying on the same old war horses.
Good evening, Rajdeep. I don't think it's risk-taking. I think this was necessary purging of the old guard because if you look at the old guard of the BJP in my state, whether it's Mr. Yadurappa, Jagdish Shettar, late Mr. Anant Kumar, you look at the faction of the BJP that they came from, and this is not a Gujarat model. This is very particularly a Karnataka story where under the guise of elections, you retire people and completely leave them redundant one. Second, if you believe you want to put your war horses against Mr. D.K. Shivakumar and Sidramaya, you obviously also have to concede that they have the fear because you've given both R. Ashok and Somana second seats, both of which they cannot save themselves from, Rajdeep. And the fact of the matter today remains, if this was such a consultative process in the BJP, why is it that two former deputy chief ministers, one former chief minister, several sitting MLAs have not only rebelled but have protested about the manner in which they've been treated? The BJP here has absolutely no consultation whatsoever if you're looking at the dissent that is coming out. And what risk are you talking about? You have 30 plus dynasts still there. You have ministers' kids taking the seats for them. And you basically in certain seats where you wanted to purge the old guard or supporters of a former chief minister on who you built your party, you've moved them away and given the ticket to other people who favor your Delhi lords. And that is the reality of the party today, Rajdeep. There is nothing new. This is not great electioneering. This is convenient purging of the old BJP in Karnataka. And look at the history. Look at the Janata in Yadurappa and what Prime Minister Modi is doing to them.
Now, may I come in? Rajdeep.
Is it a purge? Yes, Mr. Rao, respond. Is it a purge of the old guard? Somewhere you've realized that you now want to look at a post-Yadurappa BJP. At the same time, you're trying to hold on to your Lingayat base. Most of your candidates, a large number, 50 odd, are from the Lingayat community. But you want to look beyond Mr. Yadurappa. You want to look beyond Mr. Shettar. Isn't that the case? That you're trying to find a new leadership?
Rajdeep, well, to my Congress counterpart, I could only say so. That we are having some aspirational changes which are happening in terms of what Modi ji has thought about. So in terms of that, we are having 52 new faces, 8 women, doctors 5 we have, academicians we have 3, IAS and IPS who are retired we have 2, retired government servants we have 3, and of course others we have 8. So therefore on that angle, I would always say, and there are 31 PhD holders and also 31 postgraduates. So I am just trying to say that we are, of course it's a generational shift. I mean, there has to be some generational shift. Can we be, I just want to ask a question to the Congress party. I mean, there are people who are 90 years old and wanting to do not want to hand over the baton. I mean, see, there has to be some sort of perhaps correctional measures. Okay, at the same time, we have issues, we will be settling it out. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Can we talk about between the Congress party itself?
Can I just bring in Mr. Professor Shastri at the moment? Professor Shastri, how do you compare the two lists, Congress versus the BJP? Has the BJP taken the greater risks in a way to try and fight local anti-incumbency? Or do you believe that the BJP simply had no choice but to get rid of certain the old guard in a way?
Both the BJP and the Congress lists are clear proof of the politics of accommodation, the balancing act that both the parties have tried. The BJP faced a bigger challenge because being a ruling party both at the center and the state, there were greater expectations from it, there were greater pressures on it, there is greater factionalism which needed to be accommodated. So in a sense, giving 52 people or 54 people, the count is varying, new ticket, people who have been given a ticket for the first time, I think is a very interesting and bold measure, which is around 1/3 of its candidates are new people. But then, along with this new
most of their sitting MLAs are still there.
You have held on.
Most of their sitting MLAs are still there, Professor Shastri. Most of the sitting MLAs are still there.
I was about to say that. I was about to say that all those who moved into the party from the Congress and JDS and became ministers, they have been given tickets, save one, where the son has been given a ticket. So I think while new faces are there, The old tried faces are also very much there. And remember also, Rajdeep, most of the new faces are being put up in constituencies where their party did not win the election last time. So you are experimenting with new faces in seats which you did not win earlier. I said this in your earlier program also, Rajdeep. I am looking at the Dakshin Kannada region where of the 10 sitting MLAs who were denied, 5 are contesting, 5 are people from this region who were replaced. And Dakshin Kannada is critical because the party has done well there earlier, and this time the fact that you had MLAs who had been there for several terms, there was unhappiness within the cadres about how the party had treated the cadres, the social dynamics. So for me, those seats are interesting where these changes have been made. Yes, there is an attempt to bring change, and I must also concede the Congress has done a similar attempt to bring change. And I think the upper hand will be with the party who is able to put a lid on the dissent faster and more effectively. And I think the next few days will decide who is able to do that better. And I'm still looking at the remaining 30-40 seats for both parties because those will be also critical in terms of the factional fight that is on.
Right. Well, either way, Karnataka is going to be the state we'll be focusing on in the next few weeks. We've run out of time on that discussion. We could have got much more in, I guess, but we will, because the Nataka in Karnataka has only just begun. Let's take a break. When we return, we'll turn to tonight's good news story. You've got a little bit more. You're watching the news today. News without the news.
They may not have the necessary resources, they may not have the finances, but where there is a will, there is a way. These superwomen living in a slum in UP's Prayagraj have commenced their own tiffin service. For 50 rupees, you can get a piping hot meal of dal, chawal, roti, sabzi and salad.
टिफिन सर्विस के काम हम लोग अब खाना बनाने लगे हैं। खाना यहाँ अच्छा लगता है और वहाँ काम करने झाड़ू पोछा जाते थे तो 4 बात सुननी पड़ती, कभी लड़का बीमार हो गया, आज नहीं आएंगे, क्यों नहीं आओगी, पैसा काट लेंगे, पैसा नहीं देंगे। अब यहाँ है तो अच्छा लगता है, आपको खर्चा भी निकल आता है हम लोग को।
Their daughters also chip in after school, helping in packing food and of course spreading the word on their mother's amazing service. Several other girls also help in any way they can. The tiffin service has now become a community affair.
मेरे बस्ती के लोग बहुत सब चूल्हा बर्तन करते हैं। मेरी मम्मी भी चूल्हा बर्तन करने जाती हैं। मैं यहाँ पर शुरुआत में खाना भी बनाती हूँ, मैं पढ़ती भी हूँ और इससे मेरा खर्चा भी निकल जाता है, इससे मेरे परिवार भी खुश है।
So who's the motivator? Who pushed these women to pursue their passion and earn a buck or two? Meet Abhishek. He teaches the children of this slum and decided to help out these ladies to become self-reliant.
हम लोग पिछले 7 वर्षों से जो स्लम की बच्चियां होते हैं, बच्चे होते हैं, उनको शिक्षित करने का काम कर रहे हैं और इसके साथ साथ में हम उन्हें स्वावलंबी बनाने के लिए लगातार प्रयास कर रहे थे। तो उसी दौरान हमें पता चला कि जो यहाँ की महिलाएं होती हैं उनके अंदर प्रतिभा तो बहुत होता है, लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं उसको सही प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं मिल पा रहा है। तो उनसे बात करके हमने एक टिफ़िन सर्विस की शुरुआत की।
These women have now transformed their families' lives, bringing in money to feed everyone at home. With Pankaj Srivastav in Prayagraj, Bureau Report, India Today.
Okay, let's bring you tonight's Good News Today story, and it comes from Uttar Pradesh because 3 weeks after UP forest officials abruptly took a bird away from his house, Mohammad Arif had an emotional reunion with the Saras crane. He had found the bird injured last year and nursed it back to health. The story of Arif Khan and his dear bird friend is our Good News Today story. You stay well, stay safe. Good night, goodbye. जय हिंद, नमस्कार।
पहचान गए? हैं? खोल नहीं सकते।
Look at this Saras crane, jumping with immense joy after meeting its friend after a hiatus. The bird spread its wings, tried to find a way out of the space to meet Mohammad Arif, while he was patiently standing outside the bird's enclosure, eagerly waiting to meet. The Saras crane was found by Arif in August 2022 in an unconscious state, lying injured and bleeding. Arif rescued this endangered bird and nursed it back to health. Soon after, the bird began following Arif everywhere, wherever he would go and whatever he would do. But Arif's friendship with crane suffered a jolt when the forest department said that keeping the bird was illegal. The officials took the bird away to Kanpur Zoo.
नहीं फ्री तो चाहते हैं उसको किसी पश्चिम बिहार में फ्री कर दिया जाए फिलहाल जो डॉक्टर लोग हैं बड़े सर लोग हैं वो जो भी करेंगे उसके लिए अच्छा है।
This beautiful and heartwarming story proves that true love really knows no bounds. Bureau Report, India Today.
What are your key expectations as far as the central bank's action on rates are concerned right now? There are a lot of changes that are happening. On the one hand, we saw the OPEC Plus moving to cut the production levels. That has stoked some inflation fears yet again. Perhaps fears of aggressive rate hikes continuing. In case that happens, would that increase the chances of a deeper recession coming in?
Well, I mean, I think, yes, there are many deeper recession. It's hard to say how deep the recession, but there are three headwinds, right? One is that Fed is going to keep raising rates because inflation fears are not going away. Second risk is related to the banking sector. Some of the recent turbulence we've seen is going to cause more bank lending tightening, and that will add additionally to the headwinds to the economy. And the third is is inflation going to prove, despite all these efforts, more stubborn? And OPEC action on oil is going to give that. So those are all three risks, I think.
Right. In the Indian context, we've seen that in FY23, it was the domestic investors that kept the flag sailing high. The FIIs, were largely net sellers for the second consecutive year, although the sell-off really lessened to about 40,000 odd crore rupees. But it was the 2.5 lakh crore rupees pumping in by the DIIs that supported the market sentiments. I want to ask you, will the FIIs return to India in FY24? What's your sense?
I would very strongly expect so, because if you look at the forward curve on the rates as far as the Fed funds expectation, the expectation of the market may be a little too optimistic that rates are going to be cut starting this summer itself. But I do believe that we are towards the end of the rate hike cycle. And once you start to get some relief, look, right now, people are looking at the fact that they can put money, in risk-free assets and get reasonably good return without taking a lot of risk. But I think as the rates start, subsiding, risk appetite returns. And when risk appetite returns, people will be looking for where the growth is the best. And I think India definitely presents, one of the shining beacons in global growth outlook. in FY24 from an Indian context. And therefore, I think that as risk appetite starts to come back, that'll be one of the big factors that will drive fund inflows into India, in my opinion.
The much-awaited Dior fashion showcase was talk of the town. The Dior Fall 2023 show by Maria Grazia Chiuri took place beneath the iconic Gateway of India in Mumbai. For the first time ever, a European luxury mega brand hosting a standalone showcase in India. This was a collaboration between Maria Grazia, the creative director of Dior, and the Chanakya School of Craft, which is a non-profit organization. Karishma Swali of Chanakya and Maria of Christian Dior have shared a long-standing friendship that confluenced into craftsmanship, passion, art, and the showcase that will forever be etched in history. In fact, the Chanakya Dior retrospective exhibit was one for the history books, with a maze of galleries showcasing craft-embellished designs by Dior, juxtaposed with artifacts from India. The runway saw classic colors and intricate embroidery, with a homage to the Indian silk, silhouettes, prints, and choice of embellishments. It was an appropriate showcase for India that paid a tribute to our heritage. Right from the majestic decor at the backdrop of Gateway of India, to the live classical music, the Indian touch was palpable. Rekha and Sonam Kapoor were spotted together at the showcase. Sonam, who's known to be a style diva, wore a Dior outfit with a crystal-studded mini bag. She paired it with Indian jewellery. Anushka Sharma's mini Lady Dior bag complemented her outfit and she walked in with husband Virat Kohli. Karishma Kapoor went for a band gala dress with a Dior bag. Masaba wore a gajra, giving an Indian twist to her outfit with an uber contemporary silhouette. Lifestyle Bureau, India Today.
Presented by General Air Conditioner, the Extreme Machine.
Powered by
You Grow Capital, non-stop business करने की आजादी.
Union Bank of India, good people to bank with. Reliance Digital Personalizing Technology. Volkswagen Verter. Aditya Birla Sun Life Insurance, इससे जरूरी कुछ भी नहीं.
Tata Trucks, देश के ट्रक्स.
India today has accessed the first information report filed by the army in the Bathinda firing incident. The FIR has been filed by Major Ashutosh Shukla and this FIR has been filed with the Bathinda police. The FIR has been filed against two unidentified attackers. The FIR records the fact that 4 soldiers were killed